You know what it's like to look a man in his eyes as the life drains out of him. Was bad from a
I know you've always wanted horses, so I thought something with a little bit of property might be nice.
They're bad people.
Some people trying to ditch a kilo of weed.
Show me the code word.
Pickles, pickles.
안 돼.
don't want to mess with another man's tang.
There's no way they're called tangs.
It's true.
아,